All right, well, let's move on. We're going to move on to an amazing exercise. The goal here is to connect and to move forward with your business in some sort of a collaborative space, whether that is to send out referrals or to work together or to send each other business, whatever that may be. We got the girl here that's going to do that for you. So I'm excited to introduce to you Elise Bloom. She is the networking coach and consultant, a speaker trainer and facilitator. And she is the founder of, which you might want to check this out, hashtag Inspired 5280 Meetup. She believes that when people know how to build strong connections, they afford themselves more opportunities. Please welcome Elise to the stage.
All right, good morning, everybody. Like she said, my name is Elise Bloom. I'm really excited to be here. And according to the schedule, if you're a schedule junkie like me, we're about 15 minutes into my time. So for some of you, you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. We just got rid of 15 minutes of networking, right? Others, you're like, wait, the whole point of coming today was to network. We just lost 15 minutes. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to do my best to end right at 9:30 so that we can honor Amy's time. But I'm here to get us up and moving, to give some tips and pointers on how to network strategically, not just today, but on how you can take your networking game and move it forward in an effective and strategic way anywhere you go after this conference. So today I want to ask, just by show of hands, how many people feel like when they go into any networking situation, a conference, a one-on-one coffee, a meetup group, etc., that they really see the results they're looking for from networking? Okay, look at those hands up, because those are people you probably want to connect with because they know what they're doing. But for the majority of us, thanks, you can put your hands down, networking is hard, and it's overwhelming, and our palms sweat, and our hearts race. And so I want to give a couple of tips, and then I'm going to lead us through a couple of facilitated exercises to get us up and moving to network. Who knows how we can start thinking, just raise your hand if you have an idea of how we could start thinking about networking, but using innovation. Like if you had an idea, yeah, 2 hands. One's my sister, so that doesn't count. Innovation, by definition, is, I'm going to go to my notes so I don't make a mistake, making a change to something that already is established. I think that's really cool. Innovation is making a change to something that's already established. Why I'm bringing this up is because innovation, startup, connecting, 4GenNow, those are big terms. They're sexy, they're bold. But I think when most people hear the word innovation, they think, oh my God, I have to create something from scratch. It needs to be the size and the impact of Google or Facebook, right, of a massive startup. I need so much funding and support behind me. And really, if we actually go back to this definition, we realize that being innovative just means making a small change or a pivot or a tweak to something that already exists. And so today I want to challenge all of us to start networking, and we're going to practice it here right now, innovatively. So you're already here, and you're already networking. And so my challenge to you today is, how can you be networking today innovatively? What changes or small tweaks or pivots can you make to ultimately see different results? Because most of you said you're not seeing the results you want, right? So let's do a couple of things. Did everyone grab a handout from the front table? And it says, on the top it says, change your mindset. So I'm going to give an example that the first way we can be innovative while networking is changing our mindset. We all walk into situations, especially networking situations, where there's a lot of pressure or overwhelm, our stress, our cortisol levels are usually up, and we're probably second-guessing ourselves. Or maybe we're not saying the nicest things to ourselves. And I want to challenge you to start thinking about being innovative by just changing your mindset. What could you start saying to yourself the day of an event? What could you say to yourself when you're outside the actual door walking into a networking room that might change what you're thinking, and then how you feel, and then ultimately how you act? And then maybe most importantly, how others perceive you. Do they want to approach you? Do they want to come talk to you? Do they want to partner with you? Do they see you beyond your label or your generation? So let me give you an example of a mindset, but I want you to start thinking of this, and if you have an idea of a mindset that you could use, go ahead and write it down. The one I really like, and a good friend of mine, Tristan Powers, told this to me, was that any time before she walks into a networking situation, she'll stop at the door, not like outside before the registration table, but like this door right here. She'll take a deep breath, And she'll say in her mind, I belong in that room, and so does everyone else. And then she walks in, and she recognizes that she's meant to be here, just like everyone else, regardless of age, or gender, or race, or background. And it puts her in a position where the playing field is equal. So maybe that's a mindset you can all have. All right? Moving right along, because I know we're short on time, but again, if you write down a mindset, I think that's a good first tip and a good way to be innovative, right? Because we're already thinking things. Again, we're just trying to tweak the way we think. The second way that we can be innovative is by slowing down and breathing. Again, I think when we hear the word innovation, we think of most things that are being innovated or technologies are there to help speed things up, move things faster, get things done quicker. But today I want to challenge you when you're networking to slow down. And I want to challenge you to do that in two ways. One is by slowing down when you introduce yourself. One of the most common challenges, and one of the reasons I believe I actually have a job and people pay me, is because they're like, I can't remember names, Elise. Like, how do you do this? Our names are our first impression. And I always say this, if you don't like your name, you can go down to the city and county building and change your name. You can. We're all adults, right? Don't let your name get in the way of making a first strong impression. So slowing down enables people to remember you. You're also giving people the gift of being able to be present and hear what you say after you say your name slowly, because then they're not in their head saying, gosh, what was that person's name? They said it so fast. I don't even know what they said. Why am I here? Networking is so hard. On and on and on. And then I want us to practice breathing. Now you might be like, okay, yeah, breathing, whatever. But breathing is so powerful. It is the first thing we'll do in life, and it is the last thing we'll do in life. Think about that for a minute. The power of breath. So if we feel like this is too much of like a woo-woo concept, change that mindset. Let's all stand up and do a breathing exercise together, because we're going to stand up and get ready to do some interactive, intergenerational networking. And I want to introduce a breathing concept that's just 3 numbers. That's how you're going to remember it. The numbers are 3, 4, 6. Say that with me. 3, 4, 6. Okay, one more time. 3, 4, 6. Store that in your brain. And what those numbers represent are 3 inhales. So hold it for 4 seconds. And then as slow as you can, try and exhale over a count of 6. So many of you are already doing it. Let's do it together. Inhale for 3. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale as slow as you can. And we're trying to get to 6. It's hard. What this does is it's telling our brain that we don't need to be in fight or flight mode. We're in a safe place. We're not in a dangerous place. Nothing bad is going to happen to you here when you network. We all know that public speaking and networking is a form of public speaking. We have more fear of this than what you guys are about to do than of death. But I'm here to tell you good news, you're not going to die. I promise you that. You're not going to die. How I want you to start introducing yourselves in just a couple minutes. Oh, we're good on time, so don't you worry. I got through this fast, and you're going to network. Is when you say your name, before you say your name, because I want you to slow down and say your name, remember, take that breath, hold it, and then while you're exhaling over those 6 counts, that's where I want you to start saying, hi, my name is Elise Bloom. If we say our name over that 6 count, maybe it's 4 for you or 3 or 5, or maybe you're a yoga guru and it's 10 because you've really done a lot of breathing practice, that will force you to slow down, give you the opportunity to say your name slowly, give the other person the opportunity to remember it, and then you can move into a conversation that feels a little bit more natural. The other challenge I want you to do, and just for the sake of time, just keep standing, but I want you to, and go ahead, take out the little white name tag. I hope everyone has a pen or pencil. And I want you to write underneath your name. It's not a lot of, you don't need to write all this. The prompt is, my strength is. And I want you to just, under your name, write your strength. I know, I see a lot of faces like, my strength? I don't know, what's my strength? Your first thought is your best thought. Meaning you've all already thought of a strength you've had, but you've probably had a little voice in your head say, oh, I don't want to say that. That might come across this, or that might come across that. Or what will people think of me? Don't do that. We're all here to connect. Networking is about getting to know people for who we are, not just our labels, right? Not just our titles or the companies we work for or even our generation, right? So write down a strength, right? It could be public speaking. It could be smiling. It could be confidence. It could be compassion, generosity, funding, investment, startups, intergenerational knowledge, whatever it is, write down a strength underneath your name. And when you start meeting people, I'm going to explain how this is going to work. Again, I want you to introduce yourself by saying, hi. See how I'm exhaling and saying my name? My name is Elise Bloom, and my strength is networking. And then the other person will introduce themselves, and you'll have 3 minutes with this first person to get to know each other. I would encourage you to go beyond labels or titles. Yes, we all are going to ask, so what do you do? Where do you work? Who are you here with? Maybe ask something that you would ask a good friend or a family member if you were catching up. Try to go a little bit deeper so that we're using this time strategically. And we're going to have 2 opportunities to meet 2 people. This is going to be really fast speed networking. So again, you're going to turn to maybe someone you know. If you know them, do yourself a favor and take 10 steps away and meet someone you don't know. And after that first, I'm going to say 2 minutes actually, I'll say stop, 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 meet someone new. You'll meet someone new, you're going to go ahead, practice your breathing, say your name, introduce yourself by sharing your strength, any other details you want to share, and then we'll come back together. If everyone's ready, say, I'm ready. You guys are amazing. All right, let's do it. Meet someone new. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. All right, everybody, let's wrap it up and get back to our seats. Thank you for doing this. Again, we're going to unfortunately end this speed networking and take a seat. I see a lot of business cards being exchanged, which is amazing and awesome. Maybe exchange a card, give a handshake. Maybe you even want to give someone a hug. We are done, so you can take your seat. People are having so much fun, they don't want to stop. The good news is you have all day to keep talking to people. Thank you. Let's go ahead and take our seats so we can wrap this up. You guys are amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are amazing. I wish every speaker had an audience like you guys that was excited and engaged and ready to just dive right in, because then I think more people would want to be public speakers. I want to hear, maybe let's set a goal from 2 people. How was that? Did anyone practice really slowing down, saying their name, trying to say their name over 6 counts? Or how was it to share your strength rather than just, hi, my name is blank and I work at blank? Who wants to give me a little bit of feedback? Yeah, awesome. Stand up. Actually, why don't you come up here and you can use this mic. All right.
Thank you. This is a good warm-up because I have to pitch to all of you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I volunteered, because I was like, well, then they'll see me first. Anyway, you asked me about feedback. So I got to talk to, I got to talk to Jessica and Danielle. And there you go. See, I'm terrible with names, and I remembered them. So anyway, that was a good piece of feedback. It was great.
Okay.
I liked that slowing down bit.
Do you feel like the breathing helped?
Absolutely.
Good. Awesome.
Thank you.
And what was your name?
I am Zach.
All right, this is Zach. Everyone get ready. What time are you pitching to us?
After 11.
Okay.
So this is good.
Who else would like to share a little feedback? And you don't have to come all the way up. But I think we should have you come on up, because I think you're no pants guy, right? I also was going to say, I'm not wearing pants. Does that count? But I think it's a little different. How was that exercise for you?
I met Martin from Cellar Angels.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. And before I tell you about what Martin said, where's Jim? Where's he gone? You'll notice that Jim is from Boston. He's so cold in Denver, he has to wear his pants really, really high so he can tuck his T-shirt in under his shirt, because he's a bit of a, Anyway.
Whoa. I feel like you're from New York? or something, the way you're talking about Boston.
Thank you. I've been there, and I watch Ray Donovan, so I feel like I know the place well. But I met Martin from Cellar Angels, and do you know what he told me he
What did he
does?
tell you?
Nude modeling.
Whoa.
So I think you should ask him how he does that.
I'm going to let everyone try and find this Martin and figure out more about his nude modeling. But I'm glad that everyone found this exercise helpful. The last piece of advice I want to give or share on how we can be innovative. Again, we've already talked about 2 or 3 ways, right? Changing our mindset, just shifting, pivoting, making a small change, slowing down, introducing our name, breathing. And then the last, on your sheet, you'll see it, has a word that a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, goal. Yeah, I'm going to suggest that we actually set a networking goal. How many here, just by show of hands, set health goals, financial goals, professional goals, any sort of goal, just in general? Okay. Now, show me your hand if who in this room sets networking goals. Wow, you guys are a really good audience. But, like, we all should be setting networking goals, right? And we don't need to make them huge or overwhelming, right? We don't need to think of that innovative term and get overwhelmed. We can set a networking goal for 2 reasons. One, to help us know where we're trying to go, to help us realize when we say results-driven networking, what does that mean for us? Does it mean we want to feel more confident? Does it mean we want to find a funder? Does it mean we want to have this many business cards? Does it mean we're actually going to follow up? Think of something you already are doing when you're networking, and maybe it's an area that could use a little improvement, and I'd suggest you make a goal around that. Again, just a small pivot or tweak. So if it's coming to events, you're like, I'm good at that. I don't have to like psych myself up. But when I get to the event, I wish I did this better. That's an area where you could make a networking goal. That's innovative, right? We're tweaking it. We're pivoting. We're making a small change to see a big difference. Thank you all for your time. Take a minute to write down a goal. Take a minute to think about between now and the end of just today, is it possible to set a goal for today? Is it possible to walk out of here saying, gosh, instead of just checking off a box that I went to a conference and I did my best, I accomplished X? If you can do that, I promise that will enable you to want to go to more events, meet more people, and most importantly, follow up. Because we all know what's in the follow-up? Fortune. Fortune is in the follow-up. So I encourage you, if you're having a hard time thinking about a goal, here are 2 ideas. 1, commit to following up. And to commit to following up to one person today. You might get 20 cards or 15 cards. Find 1 card, put it in your right pocket. I hope you all have pockets. Sadly, Joyce doesn't have a pocket, but I know she knows how to follow up. If you have a pocket, put it in your right pocket, because that is the right person to follow up with, and everyone else in your left. And then when you go home, you can go through and decide, do we need to follow up, or in what capacity? The second goal I want to give you, or suggestion of being innovative for today, is to give yourself a break. When you're feeling a little overwhelmed or you get a little tired, don't push it. Go out into the hall, do a little bit of breathing, relax. Remember that we all belong here. We all have value. We all have strengths to share. And when we're able to do that, you'll leave here feeling like this was a great use of your time. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. That was an awesome exercise, right, guys? You enjoy that? Did you meet your best friend today? I sure hope so. I think that's excellent of what she did there, because we're going to be moving into our subject with Amy Lynch here in a moment, and I'll tell you all about her in a sec. But something I want you to think about when Amy comes up here is what we just did here. We're with 5 different generations in the room, and we understand that diversity in any capacity helps you innovate, think differently, move forward, gain better success, because you all have different ways of communicating. You all have different experiences in decades as well as personal life. Mm-hmm. And then if you bring that all together, like this table here, that table there, I personally believe that you can accomplish absolutely anything, and the speed of that accomplishment will come that much faster. What do you guys think of that? Yeah. So thank you so much. So I hope you take what she has taught you today outside of this room, but use it in this room, but also outside of this room to help your business move forward.